What's up, you guys? Venture Warrior here doing another. See, I got my box cutter doing another figure review. This time, if you see the title or thumbnail, then you know what we're talking about. But this is probably a property or toy line you're not super familiar with. I had learned about this toy line, some years ago, and it was always a toy line. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Maybe I wouldn't mind having some of those. It's one day. I finally got a couple of the collectibles from this toy line. We're going to show off a really rare piece that was actually an accessory that came with the one and only playset that this toy line had. But very, very cool. Kind of paid an arm and a leg for it, but I wanted it, so I went ahead and got it. Um, Show one of the characters from the vintage toy line, and we're going to I would say the main thing we're going to look at is a character who was planned for the original toy line, but that second wave of figures were canceled. So yes, let me go ahead and get the box. I'm gonna do an unboxing. Oh, unboxing on screen. So I bought this through Walmart. The other two items I got through eBay. Um, okay, so I will say that the seller did a really good job with the packaging. Um, it's a company called A Little This and That. Okay, cool. So I got this from Walmart. So, if you order through Walmart, sometimes they'll have stuff that comes directly from the store. They'll send it to you, or, they have third-party sellers. And, so I bought a pair of sunglasses and a hat, a new hat that I wanted. And I went ahead and bought Stellara because she was only like $15. That was a really good deal. Um, so yes, the character we're looking at is a female character. Cool. I could always use more female characters in my collection. Uh, I might keep this box. I might keep that box. So yes, we have. You see the back of me. Like I said, very well packaged. Side note, I will be going to go see Supergirl later today. Honestly, I kind of would have wanted to see Masters of the Universe, He-Man, but this is a family outing, so I'm like, eh. And I am a fan. I am a fan of Supergirl. I am a fan of the character. So I've just been hearing mixed things, so hopefully it'll be good. Honestly, I get like just watch it at home energy, honestly, like because I have HBO Max, so uh, that's the energy I'm getting. But don't want to judge a book by its cover, judge something before I haven't seen it for myself. But anyway, yeah, the box is a little beat up. That's fine. That's the only downside about this packaging. It's not really collector friendly. I don't mind having my figures. Um, I like when you can display it in the box, take it out of the box. Like you see, if I wanted to, I could hang her on the wall, and like that, like I could hang her on the wall, and that would look really cool. But once I open her, can't really do that. So that is kind of a bummer because I like having the option to do both. Um, yeah, we're looking at this somewhat obscure 80s toy line, 4-year-old toy line, Sectaurs, Warriors of Symbion. Cool. There's a handful of videos talking about the history of this toy line on YouTube. Highly recommended if you're interested. Um, this was made by Naciel, however you say it. I think that's the toy line or toy company that now owns the rights. We have Stellara, Symbion's toughest warrior. She definitely has the 80s look going on, like her hairstyle, and of course she's given modern articulation. She has the black thing that holds all her weapons, which is cool. On the old toys, they were removable. On this one, on these newer ones, I don't think they are. So we also got her and Prince Dargon, who you'll see on the back. I know you're probably thinking, why did you not get Prince Dargon? Because I actually really like, yeah, he's the main character. I really like his design. I'll get him. I might get some more, like I said, in the process of possibly starting a new job soon, maybe. if I'm able to get some feedback from this business. So if that goes well, and like I said, I'll have extra funds to splurge a little bit. I'll probably pick up the rest of the Sectaur figures. Um, yeah, very basic artwork. It's fine. And here's the back, which has more going for it. It says Stellara. It says she comes with a dagger, shield of skull, cool, and double barrel Bend gun. Okay, it looks like a shotgun. I love it though. I love it. She's cool. Proof of purchase, 2 points. So this is like 2 years old, 2024. And at the bottom, you see Prince Dargon, which see him looks really cool. Like I said, I like Dargon's design, but I like the lighter blue color on Stellara a little bit more. And like I said, I did pick up another character, another member of Dargon's team, our team of heroes. But looking at my time, um, but like I said, she wasn't in the original toy line. She was planned. The second wave was canceled, so I thought it would be really cool just to get her, since like I said, she's a brand new character in the toy line. So like I said, we got her, Prince Dargon, evil General Spydrax are one of our main antagonists. Um, so a cool thing about this toy line, the figures used to, like, we had like this little, they used to ride on insects, but the insects were made in hand puppets. I have a hand puppet, like I said, but this particular hand puppet was not like, it did not come with a figure. It was part of the play set. So like I said, I'll talk about that when I show that puppet. And again, that's really cool. So cool. Implementing puppetry with traditional action figures and trying to make a toy line out of that. The creators of the toy line were really, really innovative and creative for that time. I think figures were like $20. But like I said, there's a video going over why it kind of flopped. So again, I recommend that video if you want to know like why was this toy line not successful. So yeah, it says Stellara, Symbion's fearless warrior of the Shining Realm, is renowned for her unwavering loyalty and unmatched prowess. In combat, she is more than a match for any Dark Domain villain. Cool. So she sounds like a badass. Not the type of female you want to mess with. Okay, that's cool. On the distant planet Symbion, give you a little background, a genetic experiment fails. Frightening changes take place that cannot be stopped. The result, a world where insects grow to alarming proportions, and then inhabitants have taken on the awesome characteristics of insects. Cool. Where the noble citizens of the Shining Realm are locked in mortal combat with the Denzians of the Dark Domain, telepathically bonded in combat, so they're telepathically bonded with the insects that they ride on. Sectaur warriors join with their insect companions in the ultimate battle for survival, a battle that is now in your hands. Interesting. So yeah, we have our good guy, our good insect warriors, and we have our bad insect warriors. And there was a 5-episode TV show that only ran one time. It's all on YouTube. I watched it. I liked it. Check it out. There were comics. So Stellara did appear in the comics. She did not appear in the show. I'll probably, I think Marvel made those comics. I'll probably check those out as well. Like I said, they just have a lot of charm. And I guess for me as a collector, like I think it's really cool that I can collect something that's kind of like I said, checking my time. Like there's only a handful of figures, so it's kind of easier to collect them than say something that's still ongoing, like Transformers or GI Joe or whatever. It's a toy line that kind of concluded, and they're slowly trying to bring it back. So it kind of makes it easier to pick up the figures. Yeah. So without further ado, let's open her up. Like I said, not collector friendly, but I guess the packaging is already kind of messed up. So, oh, okay. Well, kind of tell they were on a budget to an extent because nothing is really plugged in. So here's her shield, which is dope. It has like a bronze gold color. Cool. A little dagger, which is dope. Um, and her V gun, which, okay, again, I F with it. So, okay, so there is a little hand tie. So, like I said, these were at Walmart. I'm not sure if the puppets will be at Walmart. I think there's pre-orders for Prince Dargon's partner, insect puppet, or, partner, and General Spydrax, his insect companion. So yeah, I think you can buy those through like Big Bad Toy Store. I forgot the name of the other one. So of course, due to display purposes, I will hold on to her packaging. I will hold on to, like, if I put her in storage, or if I was to ever choose to sell her down the line for whatever reason, I will keep the packaging. Just have to find a place to put it. And yeah, I didn't know. So I thought these would be a little bit smaller. There was a toy line called Zinka Toys, or a toy company called Zinka Toys, and they made like some 3.75-inch ones. So like the old school GI Joe figures. Um, hmm. So, but of course they don't own the license anymore. I probably won't get any of those. I'll just stick with the OGs and whatever Natiel, whatever they put out. I would stick with that. But yeah, I think she's about the size of a Marvel Legend, so that's cool. Okay, really cool. Like I said, she has the double jointed knees. That's one of the benefits. They're getting modern technology. Like visually, they look like the old '80s toy, but physically, I guess they have the quality or posability of a modern figure. So I really like that. Her knees are double jointed. It says 2023 Naciel. Seems like her legs can move, her ankles can move a little bit, a little stiff. Not a big deal. Of course, you got the ball joint, so her leg can go out and back and forth. And yeah, you hear that? So hopefully the plastic won't scrape on each other or whatever. I said, I like her head sculpt. I like her blonde hair. Like I said, I love they have the blue eyes, no pupils. I really like that look. Makes them look very alien-esque. There was in the show they did have pupils. Like their eyes were blue, but you could see pupils inside their eyes. So I like that the toy though. I like how it looks on the toy. So she has some paint some paint that got chipped on her arm or something. I'm sure I'll be able to get that off pretty easily. But visually, like I said, she has wrist swivel, and I said her joints can move. Got the elbow joint. It's good enough because, like I said, they're trying to capture the aesthetic of the '80s toy. It's good enough. So I vibe with it. And I'm not sure if this is removable. It was removable in the original toy. I don't think so, which is kind of a bummer. I said, of course, I don't want to force it. It might, I don't know, it might be. It looks like it's possibly glued on there. So, I don't know. Like I said, maybe not. If this is removable, like on the original toys it was. because, like I said, that would just kind of add to the display options, and so let's see. Oh, so I'm not sure how the gun is supposed to fit in there. There's the gun. You see, here's her shield. I guess you could hold it like that. She could hold it like that. She can hold it like this. Yeah. So like I said, visually, she looks really good. She looks cool. She definitely would stand out on a shelf. This is cool looking alien looking figure character. Um, but I do think her and Prince Dargon would look really well together. I think she was supposed to be the love interest, or she secretly had a crush on him, or and he didn't know about her feelings or something. Um, give her the dagger. Of course, she has the head swivel. But definitely, like I said, if you were someone who already had the figures or collected the figures, and then bam, this figure comes out. I mean, like I said, as a person, as a fan of the Sectaurs toy line, that's awesome. Get a character who was supposed to come in the original toy line. Um, and she looks really good. She looks really good. So, yes, I love the antennas, and really solid figure. Now we will. Now I was thinking about giving her a cloth accessory. Put the knife right there. That's where the dagger goes. Um, and then we will show her holding the bee gun. Which does look a little silly due to the way it's displayed. But like I said, she looks cool though. Or her squeaky goodness. So here she is with the gun. Like I said, I like it. I like it. Like I said, I have a soft spot for the 80s figures. Like I said, I've been looking at like He-Man collectibles, and there's a few He-Man figures. I'm kind of like, I kind of wouldn't mind getting those. But Sectaurs like just has a really, you know, really charming. I've really gravitated to Sectaurs. Um, like I said, Stellara's cool. Definitely a cool figure. She makes me want to get the other characters, get Dargon. Like I said, they have a lot of charm to them. And like I said, once you have them all weaponed up, and you have uh you have the figures. Oh, excuse me. You have the figures with her. I mean, that you have the insects paired up with the figures. I think it really adds to the charm of everything. So, like I said, the other character I should have got him with his accessories. This is Pensor. So Pensor was part of the original toy line. This figure is 40 years old, like my G1 Transformers. Um, and he's a cool figure. I really like the look of him. Um, Still in decent shape. So yeah, I gave this to my brother just for the time being. I mean, I could easily, get another one because, like I said, they're pretty inexpensive depending on the condition. Because, like I said, he's incomplete. So I just gave them to my brother. But yeah, like I said, they look good together. Um, so they look good together. Um, so yes, this is Pensor. Like I said, I really do like his design. Really cool. Of course, I cleaned them off and all that stuff. Um, and put her down real quick. I put her and Pensor over here together. So like I said, this was one of the hand puppets, but this did not come in. I have to show them. This did not come with a figure. This came with a playset. So the toy line lasted long enough to get a playset, which was pretty basic, but still really, really cool. I've seen a few listings for that. Of course, that's expensive. Um, but there is a listing on Facebook Marketplace. It's not complete, but I think it does come. That particular listing does come with the puppet, hand puppet. There was this puppet. It was like a little finger insect puppet as well, and it had like some other accessories that came with it. So of course, I would like to get the playset at some point. Don't know when, but yeah, at some point I'll get a playset. Um, yeah, I saw a video for it and I saw this puppet. And I was like, oh, he looks really cool. So of course I looked to see if there were any listings. There were 2 listings. This one, and there was one where his eye decal, these are stickers on his eyes, were missing. And I thought about buying the other one because it was a little bit cheaper and just paint where the eyes would have been. But I was like, kind of wanted him to be authentic. So I got this version. Yeah, so this is Nar. This is Nar. And you see Nar, like a big spider creature, hand puppet. Really, really cool. Really like the aesthetic of them. Like I say, it's vintage. Probably won't, like I said, I plan on getting the playset, so I probably won't, sell this guy. Like I said, I thought he was a really cool piece. I know it looks like I have a big crazy monster hand. I thought he was a really cool piece. So yeah, this is Nar, like a big spider. So there was like a hole, and you stick your hand through it, and the playset and the Nar puppet would be there. And so I forgot the name of the playset, but it was like a fortress basically, and your figures are trying to get their way to the top of the fortress, and there's like the ladder breaks, or like I said, the little finger puppet comes out and attacks them. And then there was Nar, who he had a layer in the playset, and that's where you stick him out, put your hand out, and he would grab like in real life there are spiders that set trap doors. He would grab any character and snatch them and pull them into his lair, which was really, really cool. So like I said, a character is coming around, and then Nar not suspecting that Nar's there, and then he grabs him. He grabs them and drags them. So, that's pretty. I don't know. That's a really cool, thing. So, yeah. So like I said, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I love this thing. It's just so charming. A lot of fun. Like I said, I like the eye, I like the design, and like I said, luckily the eyes for the most part, I kind of cleaned around his face. It was a little dirty. The eye decal is still there, which I'm grateful for. The hair and stuff is all, good condition. Like I said, so I've just been keeping him in a little baggie he came in, to preserve him. So, like I said, that is Nar. Like I said, a really, really cool piece from the Sectaurs toy line. But yeah. So, yeah, so sorry, a little interruption. So, do I recommend Stellara? Absolutely. She's cool, she's charming. Her and Prince Dargon together make a nice pair. Like I said, I recommend them. Yeah, if you're interested, definitely get your hands on some Sectaur figures. As far as next reviews go, I don't know. Stays just have to see. So yeah, apologize, noise in the background. But yeah, just stay tuned for more as always. Like, comment, share. Like I said, I had to do part 3 of my army experience. But yeah, as always, like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Peace, guys.